When I was 5 years old, I realized I liked girls like that. At 7 years old, I was punished for exploring with another little girl. And for everyone who's going to come and say, well, how did you know? Were you abused? That is really, really personal question and really fricked up that you would ask that to someone on the internet because you don't know their trauma. But no, I had like literally golden childhood with parents that loved me, okay? Like there were things that weren't perfect, like how at 9 years old, I heard things from adults around me like, you know, gay people go to hell, or what a waste of God's creation. My family has come a long, long way since then, okay? They are good, loving, accepting people now. But that was the environment I was raised in the Christian evangelical South. Anyway, back to my timeline of how I came out of the closet in my life now. But I always have to cover that because there are those people that are like, oh, if you're gay, you must have been molested as a child. No, some people are just born gay. As a teenager, I went absolutely buck wild boy crazy. I tried to prove that boys like me and I like boys. And if I could get the attention of boys, which is this is what society teaches you, especially in the South, I am safer. I am more valued. I am more loved. I am safer because I will be provided for. So I had a high school boyfriend that I was obsessed with, but wouldn't have sexy time with or even kiss. Because I was like, I'm a good Christian girl and I'm waiting till engagement to kiss you. He fell for that. I fell for that. 20 years old, on my birthday, I plotted to get drunk with my best friend in college so that we could get tipsy and I could try kissing her. We kind of did it, except she wouldn't let me do it to her, so I didn't know if I would like doing it to a girl, if you know what I mean. So I was enjoying, like, I was like, this is crazy, amazing. Like, I don't think I ever want to do any of this with a man. But in the morning, I woke up because it was so good. I was like freaking out. I remember calling my favorite professor, who is like great at counseling me through things. And after I talked to her, which was great to talk through, but that was it, I pushed it aside. I went to church and not therapy. At 24 years old, I had moved to Los Angeles. I met a guy on my third day in LA, and I brought him home to Louisiana and married him without ever having any sexy time with him. Just, you know, wait till marriage, kids. That's the Christian way. At this point in my life, I was pretty like triggered by anyone who was gay because I knew that I was a little bit gay and like fighting it. So that sucked. Like, I remember having this one friend in Los Angeles who was bi, and I quit being her friend because she flirted with me, and it made me so uncomfortable because I wanted to flirt back, but I thought it was a sin. Anyway, I ended up marrying the man. That went terrible. That's a different story for a different day, but I was a really good, loyal wife to him. And I had never had sexy with a man, you know, until my wedding night. And boy, oh boy, was that a bad decision. I was so happy. So this man was so mean to me. He was so mean to me that I was so happy that on our wedding day, he was nice to me. I remember thinking, he's being so nice to me today. This is amazing. And so sexy time made me feel loved. It made me feel safe. It made me feel like this person cared about me because I didn't get to have full days without making him upset on other days. So wedding day was a joy. Probably for the next 2 weeks, he treated me like a princess. And then everything changed. Post-divorce, about a year later, I actually talked to him. I remember sitting on my childhood bed. He came home to my parents' house to pick up his TVs. And I just said, why? Like, why? And he said, well, when we got married, the game was over. But you know what? I can't even be mad because he set me free. I mean, I would have realized I was gay and like been trapped even if he was wonderful to me, but he wasn't. So I was glad that ended. At 26, I accepted to myself, told no one else that I was bi. Then I ended up meeting a man who became a great friend and work partner, and we dated, and I genuinely loved him as a friend. And he knew from day one that I was bi. He accepted it, but I said I wanted a monogamous relationship, blah, blah, blah. About 2 years in, 2020, he's scrolling on Lesbian TikTok, and you start realizing some things. You start realizing that you cannot put aside who you are. At this point, he started talking about buying me a ring, and oh my God, was I scared out of my pants. That's actually the wrong way to describe it because I was scared into my pants. I didn't really like having sexy time with men. So I told him, hey, I think I have to figure this out. And he was like, you go figure it out because I don't want to get married without you figuring it out. Cool. I meet a woman on TikTok 45 days later, long nights, constant communication, FaceTime calls that last 4 hours. I am in her bed in Santa Clarita. Was it Santa Clarita? I think it was. This is my big moment. This is the big moment. And one night with her, I remember just looking at her and her going, you're not bi, honey. You've never done that before? She was an older woman. She was like 53. I was like 30. Yeah, 30-ish, 29. My God, she rocked my world. To answer her question, it's like, excuse me. I was like, no, I have not. And I don't ever want to have a man touch me again. And she was like, yeah, what are you going to do? You depend on your boyfriend for everything. Like, y'all work together. You share a house together. You share a car. She's like, you got to start your whole life over. In that moment, I had a massive panic attack. Like, no, not that exact moment. I was taking a bath later on that night. And I remember being in the bathtub and I like was leaning and I had like a wet towel on my chest. And I just kept like touching the towel. And I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I can only have a few $1,000s saved. What do I do? It was scary. Scary, scary. I left the man. I was honest with him within 48 hours of getting home, maybe 24 hours of getting home, whatever. I told him, I was like, straight up, I'm a lesbian. And he was like, I knew it. And I was like, okay, cool. What do we do now? And we started like splitting up things. My house, left my car, left my picket fence life, moved into a 1-bedroom apartment where I put together cheap furniture on my own. But I had trust in myself for the very first time in my life. It was like, it's you depending on you, honey. There's no one else here. I have busted ass for the last 3 years. And now I am 32 years old, proud and out lesbian. And I have the fastest growing, non-swiping lesbian dating community platform on the internet. I'm helping women fall in love around the world. Now I have the best relationship with my parents. They're so accepting of my partner. And if your family is not there and you grew up similar to me, just give them some grace for a little while. I mean, everyone's situation is different and people overstep boundaries. But my parents have really tried and we've gotten to a really good place. For over 8 years, I sat with a note in my phone to one day have a dating platform. For over 24 years, I sat knowing that I was queer and not doing much about it. Whatever you know in here, freaking let it out and reach for the stars. I'm not telling you that ain't gonna be hard, honey. It might be hard. In May, I decided I was gonna make the lesbian dating platform happen, which by the way, it's called Queer Country Club. I was like, Queer Country Club is happening, here we go. I'm gonna fully fund this myself. I'm not going to pay for ads. I'm going to launch it to my audience. Everyone who's tired of swiping on dating apps and getting nowhere, we're going to do this so different. No men, no polyamorous pursuits. No offense to the polyamory fam, because I have polyamorous friends. And at one time, I tried to be polyamorous so I could have a girlfriend and a boyfriend. That didn't work because as soon as I touched a woman, I was like, she is mine and I am a monogamous woman. And getting onto dating platforms as a lesbian trying to find the love of their life can be challenging because there's a lot of shit you're gonna have to swipe through. So on my platform, Queer Country Club, no men, no photo filters, and no polyamory. Again, no offense to our polyamorous friends, there's plenty of apps for you guys. There's literally nothing you can't do. Like, I don't care how hard it is. If you want to come out, if it is physically safe for you to come out, honey, go live your life. Everything happens for a reason. If I would have not come out for me, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing in the lesbian community for everyone else. Who I am today would not exist if I had not come out, if I had not taken that first step. And I don't know what it is for you today. Maybe for you, you've always had a passion project and you've never taken that leap of faith and done it. Maybe you still haven't come out and now this is your sign. Or maybe you've been hurt by love and you're scared to date again. But you're like, Sophia, tell me more about this Queer Country Club thing. I'd be happy to. Shoot me a DM. I'll tell you anything you want to know. Anyway, lesbians, don't let anyone tell you you can't. Because you can. and you will be okay. More than okay.